let's go on to actually buying. Do you feel pressure? And this is more at 25 to 35. So, and this can maybe be in a relationship or on your own. Well, this is as in majority of people said it, 25 plus. But again, say what age you felt the pressure of either having your own house, living on your own, getting a mortgage. Have you ever felt any of those pressures?
Okay, so...
And if so, when did they start?
Okay, so I have bought a house.
I
don't have it anymore. We broke up, remember? Okay. What I'm saying is I've done it, right? So I think we've done it more because, again, it seemed the right thing to do. And from a logical and adult perspective, it was like, well, we're not going to rent because it's dead money. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's get our heads down, save or whatever, and do the right thing. So yeah, that's how it was. And it didn't seem pressure. It just seemed like the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So it's totally cool.
So it's just kind of natural progression.
Yeah, of course. And again, more so now because I have a family, and I think it's important to do the right thing again and have something for the kids. That's nowadays, and that's kind of your retirement package, isn't it? It's your insurance policy, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
But unfortunately, just house prices are absolutely astronomical these days.
Ridiculous.
It's an absolute joke. In order for you to kind of do well, you're going to have to move 60 miles down the road.
For the kids as well, like say the 18-year-olds that are thinking, I'm going to get a house, and then when they actually realise what it takes and stuff, it's so it's really disheartening.
Unless you come from generational wealth.
Yeah.
Or you have parents that have put a little nest egg aside for you and said, here's your first head start.
You can't do it alone.
You can't do it alone.
No.
Those days are well and truly over, unfortunately.
It is hard, and because I actually work in mortgages, so I see the pressures. And in all honesty, the average first-time buyer is 38, so people really need to take those pressures off.
Wow.
38.
People don't know that.
People don't know.
I don't know that.
Honestly,
I don't know that.
House prices are so expensive nowadays. And we had this thing where they put like the top lenders. Someone actually did it for us at work, and it was really good. And there was like, do you know what's in the top 6 lenders? Bank and mum and dad. Bank and mum and dad or grandparents are the ones that are funding majority of these house purchases. And it is like, don't get me wrong, you can absolutely do it by yourself. But some people are potentially a step ahead because they have that support behind them. Not everyone does. And it is being mindful of that. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but
no, of course not.
Everyone can afford to buy a deposit on their own or their income.
You need that helping hand. And again, let's be honest as well, even nowadays, in regards to career paths and jobs and stuff, jobs don't even pay that much anymore.
Yes. Oh my God, they want you to have 10 years experience and pay 20k.
Salary.
Them ones are ridiculous.
It's mad. And you know what? It's even more upsetting. Again, I'm not trying to get too deep on you guys. What's even more upsetting now, right, is that you can pay $1,500 or whatever on rent somewhere, and a mortgage payment is less than what it is to get rent, but then you try and get a mortgage and they're telling you, sorry, but I'm like, big man, I'm paying $2,000 on rent.
I literally lived in London renting, and I wanted to kind of go do that London life, live on my own. For me, it was great for like my independence, but literally living on your own, I was paying about like $1,400 to live on your own in a 1-bed flat.
Yeah,
like it's actually
and then
disgusting.
And then you got
and I see people buying a $500k house and their mortgage payments at £800, and I'm like, you're telling me I can't afford this?
It's mad, isn't it?
Like, it's at the logic behind it is
you need that $60,000 deposit in the bank.
Yeah.
To have anything half decent.
Yeah. It's actually wild. I'm actually going to do
you that when
something
you're 18 about saving for that deposit or doing whatever it needs to.
That's what needs to be taught. Like we said earlier, you start earning 18, you put some money away if you want to buy a house at at a younger age than 30.
And even parents, like I feel like now growing up, I feel like what I would probably do for my child is like my mum and dad always charge me rent, and I generally feel like you should charge your kid rent as in just to teach them about outgoings and finances, and then I will actually put that in a savings account and give it back to them as a deposit, but I won't tell them. I'll always just tell them, give me rent, give me rent.
Very nice.
And it doesn't have to be like a massive amount, because sometimes they might generally need the rent to generally help with bills and stuff, so you might have to put it all aside, but like try and put some aside and then try and give it back and be like, do you know what, you actually saved this, and actually teach them how to save and teach them about money.
Literally what it drills down to, and that is the lesson to the children, making sure that they have no unrealistic expectations and actually are taught, because they don't tell you none of this in school, as we all know.
Why would they? It's not a conversation, but why would they?
Instilling that knowledge in the child that actually this is what real life looks like, and not scaring them or intimidating them or making them aware that this is how tough it is. You know, like you're not going to get this unless you do this, or this is how you think it is, but it's not. This is actually how it really is.
Like
really
we've touched on it. How like kids now, they're like everything's so obviously sensitive and everyone's so wrapped up in cotton wool, and I'm like, no, teach them about the real world. They need some thick skin.
Be harsh,
isn't it?
You've got to be harsh.
Well, yeah, if you're not harsh with them, they're going to hit that harsh reality when they then try to like rent or buy a house. Like, I've got no money.
I just feel as though if you're not harsh or teach the kids them lessons really, really early, I feel like you're doing them an injustice as a parent or as a superior, because you're setting them up for a fall. I'm going to be nice to you every single day and let you get away with murder when you could do X, Y, and Z. And when you go to your job and you try to say something to your boss and he's like, well, you're fired, or she says you're fired or whatever, and you're back to square one, it's called, because you've actually been cotton wool the whole time. You don't know any different, and that's not realistic.
I'll tell you what,
the real world is harsh.
As well, is you can teach them everything you know, but look how quickly and fast this world is adapting and changing. All that time you might have spent putting in that knowledge, by the time it comes for the fruition stage where they're going to use it, everything's changed.
Yeah, of course.
So actually, do you actually feel like you're doing the right thing? You would feel like you're doing the right thing, but is it actually going to withstand? Is it going to hold until
it will help.
They need to use it?
I feel like it will help. So I think it will help you do it.
Yeah. It's moral. I guess it's morals, isn't it? It's morals.
Because you say the world's changing a lot, and this is changing, that's changing. But let's be real: the curriculum you learn at school is the same curriculum your parents learn at school.
Really? So why is it? If the world's changing, why is that not changing?
Well, that's a totally different
conversation.
But you're right.
But this is my point. If we're saying it's all changing, but if it's not really, so let's
like the world is changing, but in order to figure that out, you have to know how the world works. And if you as a parent are not teaching your kid how the world works, yes, you need money to buy a house, and yes, this is how this works, and then like you said, you're doing your kid a disservice because you're not telling them what life is really like.
Real life.
And real life can be fantastic, but it also can be really, really hard. And you have to teach. I think you need to teach kids both sides to make them a well-rounded person.
When did it click for us lot though? Because again, did this click for us when we were 18, 25, or did this click when we were?
I feel 25 was my growing up. I feel like younger, I was very immature. I'm still a bit immature now, don't get me wrong. But I feel like I just got to a point where I was maybe more sure of myself. Like, I just was more aware of things. I understood things a bit more. So I definitely feel about 25, 26 was definitely my, hold on a minute. Like, you really do need to open your eyes and look at the world and look at all aspects.
Yeah.
But, I don't think I thought of any of that younger. I don't really care.
No, why would you?
I weren't really that bothered.
Why would you?
Yeah, you don't.
No, you don't. Of course, again, you're too. I'll say you're too busy, but you're just trying to enjoy.
You're
trying to enjoy life.
And that's how you should. That's how you should be.
Of course.
And that's obviously why we touch on pressures. In all honesty, up to 25, discover yourself. Discover what you like doing.
1,000,000%. Yeah,
1,000,000%. Don't enclose who you really are. Be the different person. Be the one that's unique. Be the one, that...
But also, actually, this is a good one.
Different.
Probably 25 as in, with our girl group, because we grew up with the same girl group, we kind of have got to an age where we actually are very different. Yes. And we like very much different things.
And I think we've recently noticed that in the past 2 years.
Because I remember earlier, they would go to events and stuff, and I was like, I don't even like these events. I don't like going to them. And I got to a point where they'd be like, Naomi cannot be convinced. If she says no, it's a no. And I'm like, I'm not going, I'm not doing it. And then we just got to a point where it's fine to be different. I'm like, if you girls like to do that, don't feel the need to shout me, go do that. Shout me if it's something that you know that I like to do. I don't feel like I have to be fake or adapt to it. Even when you grow up, you meet new people, and you probably sometimes meet people that might just be more on your vibe, more on your level, that you can kind of go do those type of events with them, and there's nothing absolutely wrong with that. But that probably did get to about 25 to realise.
Me and you differ there quite a lot as well, because I'd say I've got a bit more of a wider taste of music or whatever, and and I suffer with FOMO, or I used to. I don't so much anymore, but my pressures were genuinely I'm going to miss out on this thing, or do I have the money to fund it, and all them kind of things. And actually, I was the one in the friendship group that did something that everyone else liked, so I felt that pressure of, I'm going with this person, I'm going to go with that person to a house rave, I'm going to go. This person to a garage rave, I'm going to go. Whatever it is, I'm saying rave. But all the different things that people would do is where I would put pressure on myself because I'm like, I want to do it all.
I want to do everything.
But maybe I can't afford it all, but I don't want to miss out, so I'm going to find a way to afford it, or maybe scrimp that month, or eat beans, or whatever, blah, blah. But there is a beauty in saying no.
I was going to say, there's a massive power in learning
yes girl.
to say no and not being a people pleaser. You know, you're not going to please everyone. So like, stop saying yes to things you don't want to do.
Yeah, people aren't going to like it as well when you start being this person. They're going to like, you've changed your tune or whatever. Well,
you'll get some looks, you'll get some comments. You know, it doesn't matter. Because if you don't want to do something, don't do it.
100%.
It's like with the house thing. You don't have to buy a house.
No, you don't.
Like 18 to 24 people,
exactly.
you don't have to buy a house if you don't want to. Just because your friend's doing it, you don't have to.
It might not even be your goal.
Exactly. You might not even want to live where you're buying your house. Like, there is a huge world out there.
It's such a huge responsibility, isn't it?
Yeah, like that. Those bills keep coming.
Then it just kills the rest of your life because you have to find that mortgage payment every month. You've got to find your insurance every month, whatever.
Yeah.
You've got to find gas, electric every month. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
earning that deposit is only half the battle. You still got to service that thing every month,
and
that's for 25, 30.
Maintenance.
And if you're, let's say a 20-year-old that's just bought a house, and all your income is being spent on your house, your bills, all your mates are going out, having fun, living your life. Yes, you've got this house, but are you enjoying your life?
Are you having fun? Are you making memories with your friends?
Yeah. Oh, I got my house. No one's even coming round your house.
got to throw a house party twice a month. House party again?
Yeah, we're done with that.
That's a bit like me. My kitchen party.
Another kitchen party.
Oh,
they're not the be all and end all of life at 25. Like, you don't have to own a house if you don't want it. If you want to, cool. You know, you're going to have to work, or, you know, maybe your parents are going to have to help you out or whatever, but it's not the be all and end all to have a house at 25.
No.
You know, if you get to 60,
out of your head.
If you get to 60, you're still throwing kitchen raves, like, you know, maybe have a word with yourself. But, you know, at 25, you don't need to be thinking that deeply about it, owning a property. We're the only country in Europe that thinks that seriously about owning a property.
Yeah,
Really?
we actually are. Yeah, you go abroad.
You go abroad, no one our age.
No one cares,
even older than Lewis. I know.
There's people older than Lewis?
But no. Also, I think there's a great freedom in renting. I don't rent, but I think that's not talked about enough.
No, I feel like it worked for me for the London life. Like, I can't afford to buy a house in London.
Again, what kind of life are you living? That's when it works, isn't it?
Yeah, like, if you want to go... And it is, like, renting is more affordable for people because, like you say, people that can't get the deposit, people that can't get a mortgage, well, actually, if you rent, you could probably go buy a house in the area that you might want to live in.
Also, if you then want to up your life...
Rent is more than a mortgage.
It massively is.
Yeah, the payments are more, but it's harder to get a mortgage. It's easier.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But if you suddenly want to up your...
Although, you say that, but some of these landlords are taking a piss now, aren't they? They're like, you need 2 months up front, and you need references. Yeah, you need reference. Like, are you sure?
Yeah, 100%. I had credit check everything.
Yeah,
like reference checks.
I'm like, are you a bank?
Person as well.
It's mad.
Like, I just want to rent your house, mate. Do you want the money or
not? Straight up.
Proper.
But just being mindful. Sorry.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, just being mindful of time because we have hit like an hour mark now.
No way.
See, we can go for ages.
You guys can chat.
But there is another big topic that I think I would like to touch upon or just discuss because I think it's a good one. So it is big about topics.
We love a big topic
because at the end of the day, this is what the people off our Instagram page have come back and said. Like, this is why this discussion happened today, is because people have come back and answered the question box that we put up, and so much came through. So I hope that we've done a credit to everything that everyone has said.
Yeah.